What is going on, my herd? Welcome back to another Black Sheep TV production. Today we continue our Does It Drift video series where we purchase vehicles in-game, build the car up to drift specs, test the car rigorously to see if it has the ability to be a drift car. But today it is another head-to-head action! Let's get into it. Today's going to be a little bit of a switch up. We already know both of these cars that we're testing today, they already drift. We already know that. We got the Rapid GT in the red corner, and we got the Schwartzer in the blue corner. Okay? And we're going to see which of these two drifts better, which scores higher on the scale. Now I know which one I prefer more, but I'm not going to let that get into the way. I'm going to really give you the benefit of the doubt on both of these. They both have the exact same tire compound, and I'm going to give you the true pros and cons of both. Alright, I'm going to flip a coin, see which one we're starting with. Heads, Rapid GT, tails, Schwartzer. Tails it is. So we will begin with the Schwartzer. I'm going to take it right into one of my confidential tracks here, tracks that have not been released. Formula Drift track. So the reason I'm bringing it to the FD track here, even though it is not released, I can't link you to it, you can't go download it, nothing like that. The reason I'm bringing it here is because this is where these two cars are, that's where they shine. If you know anything about Formula Drift, you have touch and goes and clipping points. Clipping points on this track are designated in red and white, and touch and goes are designated in black and yellow. I am not going to go into Formula Drift layout here. I am going into what car is the best. There is a set line, and only one line that is correct on this, and that is what those points are lining you up for. So let's just kind of get into it. I can almost guarantee you I'm going to throw this car into the wall a couple times. I am going to smash it. Let's do it. Alright, so a very sketchy first lap. Let's not even look at that. Let's retry this beanoch over here. Okay, so aside from the entrance on that one, it was a very sketchy entrance. Try it again. You're going to notice that I'm not just going right into the things of grading this. I want to show you guys what we're talking about. So the first thing I want you guys to note that going straight, I'm going to pull the e-brake right at the tires. Pretty good e-brake, alright? Pretty good e-brake. That's the first thing I want you to know. Another thing I want you guys to pay attention to is how fluent the drift looks once you're actually in it. How maintained it looks. See what I mean? Very clean. Ooh, man, I spoke a little soon on that one, but I think you guys are understanding what I mean there. It looks so clean on the drift. I always use my right stick to kind of set up into the next line, so it might look a little more straight than what it really is. I promise you there's quite a nice little angle on that. And I am crashing this car left and right into these places I should not be crashing it, but that's okay. That's realism here. That's the realism of it. Not that you'd realistically be crashing your drift car. I mean, it's the reality of playing the game here. I crash my car more than what you probably see. So let's get one more decent lap here, and then let's give it a little grade and move on to that old Rapid GT. Try to keep this video down to a maintainable time here. Ooh, well, that's not the lap we was looking for. Oh man, see how she hops? See how it's hopping right now? The whole body of the car is literally shaking. That will affect your drift. slow her down a little bit right there, I would have piled into the cement. So cost, what you're getting out of it, it's a 10, guys. It is literally a 10. Rockstar ever gave us another car that was comparable to this car, I would be absolutely shocked. Absolutely shocked. So yes, cost, what you're getting out of it in that 200K and under range, it is a 10. 10 out of 10. Driftability, again, this is the best drifting car you get in the game. Most realistic. And if you don't believe that, I encourage you to go get one and stance it and start drifting it. Once you get the hang of it and you realize, if you can't already see the length, how large of drifts you can do in this car, come on guys, what other car are you doing stuff like that in? The Rapid GT, which we're gonna go look. That's why we're comparing them. But this is it. This is a 10 out of 10. This is a 10 out of 10 on driftability. Now efficiency. This is where it's gonna take a minor hit. I don't have any curbs in the area, so we're actually gonna drive out of the area intentionally. Let's just say it's not the best. Let's just say it's not the best, all right? Hitting a drift. All right, do you see how fast it drifted over on me? That one I saved it because I hardly went in with any angle. But if you go in and you tap a curb with any type of angle, expect to kind of go like that. It's going to hit the efficiency. It doesn't hit the driftability because it's still drifting just fine. But the efficiency on those curbs, it's going to hurt. Now it's not going to kill this car. It's taking a 9. It's taking a 9 out of 10 on the efficiency because that's the only thing. It has a great e-brake. It has an absolutely great drift. It has a very forgiving drift. Yeah, this is overall a absolute must-have in your drift collection. So that's scoring a 29 out of 30, my black sheep herd. So far, the highest scoring drift car in the Does It Drift series. So let's go pick up the Rapid GT from the trailer and pull it out on the track. So obviously right off the bat, the looks of this car and the sound of this car is better. It really is. I prefer the look of the car, and the sound is very overpowering to the Schwartzer. It is important to note that both of the vehicles do stance very properly. They don't blow up, they don't smoke. It is also important to note that, of course, this is the only other car that's going to drift with that type of as you can see, that type of a radius. Now the first thing with this car is it's faster than the Schwartzer, which is going to make it shift easier once you straighten out. And the second big thing with this is the e-brake. Let's pull the e-brake as we did on the test with the Schwartzer. We're going to pull it right up at those tire pylons right up here. Now. Oh, shit. Alright, so we got a little bit of e-brake. We got a little bit of e-brake, and then it just literally cuts out. It literally just gives up on you. So pretty much engage into your drift, and then as soon as you're in the drift, you better be in your drift. Let's do a lap or two, see what we're dealing with. Already shifted on me there. Last video I made with this car, someone said that I drifted different than the other cars, and I can promise to everybody watching out there that I drift this car exactly the same as the other ones. As you can see, that was a very terrible lap. Let's give it another shot. This car really doesn't like this track. It's very 50. It really doesn't like that first corner. And I have to slide it so aggressively to get it to slide. I'm going to just try a normal slide here. The e-brake is so crappy though. Still shifted on me. Another shift. Now I complain and I'm saying this car shifts really easy. It shifts easier than the Schwartzer. There's absolutely no doubt. And there's absolutely no doubt that the car has a lack of e-brake over the Schwartzer. Those are two things that there's absolutely no denying or arguing. The other thing that would be absolutely no denying or arguing is the speed. Rapid GT is much quicker at acceleration and top speed than the Schwartzer. They say that the Schwartzer handles these longer drifts much more efficiently, much cleaner. As you can see, I'm really struggling to throw some angle on this thing. Very difficult with this car, let's just say that. It's very difficult. So for a beginner, I 100% suggest starting the Schwartzer over this car. If you're really die-hard, I have one guy in the EMDA that learned in this car, and now he pretty much swears by this car. However, he learned in this car. He didn't have any drifting skill prior. We just found out a couple days ago that he really wasn't even drifting quite properly. And I guarantee you, once you do start drifting completely properly without ever letting off that right trigger, once you're in the drift, you shouldn't be letting off that right trigger. And the problem is with this car is you pretty much have to if you don't want to shift. Now for this long type of drifting, there's two cars in the game. Well, there's three cars in the game that do it efficiently. There's the Schwartzer and the Rapid GT, and there's the Banshee 900R. 900R is the most hated on drift car in the game. Half the people out there that are drifting say it's shit and it doesn't drift, and it's so touchy and finicky, and the other half realize that it is the most responsive drift car in the game as soon as you get it down and stop being a baby about everything and whining and poor cry me, baby, baby. Alright, so we've seen it struggle on these corners. We've definitely seen it struggle on the corners. So I'd say we're just out of its comfortability zone on the drifting around the corners on it. I'd say if they were a little bit tighter, you'd be okay in this car. Cost, you have to buy it, and it's like $100,000, right around $100,000. And then you're putting in the engine, the turbo, the transmission. You're putting in the suspension. You're going to be right around that $300,000, $275,000 to $300,000 when the car is said and done. So you're about $120,000 more expensive than the Schwartzer, and you're getting less out of it than what you're getting out of the Schwartzers. Well, I guess that's kind of a double-edged sword here. If you want speed, that's a different thing. But in drifting, it's really not about the speed. Let me show you a little something. You see how the speedometer is holding us right around 30 miles an hour? Oop, must be shift. Throw a little more angle on it. Every tap there is me hitting the e-brake. And yes, first person drifting is very, very difficult. So, but it stays at that 30 mile an hour mark. And I noticed in the Futo, in the Schwartzer, in the Dominator, in the Sentinel, in all of the cars, it's all the same on the speedometer. Right under 30 or right over 30. So you're having about a 3 or 4 mile an hour change. Now the reason why you can't drift cars like this car and the Schwartzer against each other is from the takeoff, go. Alright, Schwartzer's still way back there. Schwartzer pretty much just went around that corner back there and is just now entering its drift. Nope, I shifted. Schwartzer's just now going around that corner that I shifted at. Is it because he's drifting slower? No, it's because he engaged slower and then had to enter in slower. And once he's into his drift, he's drifting at the same speed. But then a couple seconds of difference is massively crucial. So let's get to it. Let's get to the layout. I keep doubling back. Cost $300K roughly. You're getting less out of it, in my opinion, substantially. But let's just say mediocrely, you're getting less. Moderately less. Let's go into driftability. Driftability is pretty great. The e-brake sucks. And we just found out that it does have some weaknesses. The Schwartzer handled this course quite well. I think we had a couple shifts all in all. I had a couple shifts almost every lap in this car. This car, driftability, it's going to take a hit. I'm going to say it's an 8.5. I would give it a 9 with the e-brake on top of the finding its flaws here. 8.5 is plenty for it. So you get a 9 and 8.5, and then efficiency. Efficiency, let's keep in track as well. We shifted a couple times here. Now, yes, it will still clear some ground in a drift. It'll still clear some real nice ground in a drift. But go watch back and watch those laps. You've seen me shift numerous times. So this little circle that we did right here is not clearance of the big circle in there. Plain and simple. It just isn't. Come on, guys. This car is not even comparable to the Schwartzer when it really comes down to it. Efficiency, we got to give it another 8.5. So it's a 9, an 8.5, and an 8.5. It's going to give it a 26 out of 30, which is still the second highest scoring drift car so far in the Does It Drift series, which we would assume that. Testing two cars that we already knew drift and we already knew they were great drifters. We still wanted to cover them. And there you have it, guys. The two big dogs in the GTA Online drifting scene as we speak right now. Now, realistically, one's a pit bull and the other one's a boxer. Both great dogs, but only one of them's really, really cut out for the fight here, guys. So if you want to drift at the full potential and capability in GTA Online, go get yourself a Schwartzer right now. Today, tomorrow, whenever you can find one on the street or whenever you can afford one. I promise you, you will not be dissatisfied by that. As always, you guys are the ones that make this happen. I appreciate you guys, my black sheep herd. I appreciate you guys following, subscribing, sharing them videos. I want you guys to stay happy, stay positive, and we will speak to you next time.